Evan Lowe.
Does anyone else want to borrow Mary Maven to do the introduction? There's a reason why she is doing our introductions, and I thank you so very much, Mary, for your tenacity and your continued support in our community as well, too. Thank you to you and your entire family. How many of you is it your first time joining us for this celebration here, recognizing amazing, dynamic women during the month of March in Women's History Month? First time. Wow, this is great. Diana, this is also a testament to our honoree. How many is your second time? How many is your third time? Fourth time? Oh wow, we see a lot more. Yes, Congressman has been here many a time. And I say that because I hope that this brewing can be expanded in the future as well, as we work with intentionality as a veil in recognizing that we must uplift the voices of women each and every day. This is my last year as a member of the California State Legislature doing this event in this formal capacity. But I have full confidence that the next member of the Assembly will continue this trajectory. Of uplifting the voices of our dynamic women and is listening to everything I say and helping to ensure that we hold this person accountable and making sure that it meets the level of expectation that's commensurate with the dynamism of our phenomenal women in our community. So again, thank you so very much for all of you who have joined us here today in recognition of supporting women in our community. Yes, it is Women's History Month, and of course we have a number of elected officials who are also in this room. So there are many, and too many to actually name, but if you are an elected official, would you please stand and be recognized? Again, to our amazing elected officials in this room who are joining us in celebrating and honoring our women of distinction. Thank you very much for your service. And as illustrated too, when you come to this event late, like Mayor Klein, there might not be a seat left. Usually we have a saying that whoever attends late to these meals, they pay. Whoever's late. They'd be paying in a different way. As we acknowledge elected officials in this room, I also want to take personal privilege to also acknowledge an additional elected official who is joining us in the room. And they kindly acknowledge and ask to stand Supervisor Joe Savini. Supervisor, would you please stand And the reason in particular is because I want to acknowledge and address that in a particular time of democracy of campaigns, it is important that you remember the spirit of our community, that we, as stewards of public trust, must embody the type of statesmanship, statespersonship, what is important in our community. And it's well recognized that while this is all my final year in the California State Legislature, this is also Supervisor Sabedian's last year as a Board of Supervisor. Supervisor, we honor your service. Thank you very much for joining us today. What is the month of March? National Women's History Month. History. History is important. That we must remember our history, so history also does not repeat itself. When we think about women's suffrage, we're thinking about rolling back the clocks and the time, that there are those in our country that wish to undermine and roll back the clocks of time. In the protections that so many have worked so far to provide us an opportunity to feel safe in this space. But that's what we are dealing with in this environment. So that's the importance of us coming together, uplifting the voices, working with intentionality, acknowledging the incredible work of women, and also, at the same time, acknowledging the significant barriers that exist in our society. Whether or not what it's like about thinking about the psyche of a young woman feeling that they are victimized and not having access to reproductive freedom. That is the unfortunate lived experience that so many women face, not here in California, but in other places. And that's why let us use this opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to social justice and doing the work in this space as well too. So again, to all of you, thank you very much for being here. I hope next year you will find an opportunity to find a young woman who has not participated or joined us here today and bring them as a guest as well, so that they can also learn and meet the dynamic women in this room so that we can all uplift one another as well too. So again, please join us again next year and bring a special guest, a young woman, so that we can make sure that, Patrick, you're hearing this, that we can expand the capacity of such rooms accordingly. Okay, I better get back to the program. Very consistently in alignment when we're talking about our region of service and legacy, the next person I hope to be able to recognize is a dear friend. This is an individual in our community. His name is Don Sun. He recently passed away just about a few days ago. He was a commissioner in the city of Cupertino, very active in the AAPI community. He was always dedicated to public service. Most recently, he served as one of the finance directors for Andrew Yang for president. And of course, any Asian Pacific Islander who was interested in public service, Don was always there to help. A few weeks ago, he had symptoms of a flu and went to the hospital, and the doctor told him that he had stage 4 cancer, and that it was too late to address and provide him the type of care that he needs. And why I want to reference this as well is, number one, to take a moment of silence to our dear friend Don Sun. A few years ago, we also had a dear friend who had leukemia, and it was Don that would update members of the community and talk about the health and well-being of our dear friends. But in recognition, legacy, and honor of Don Sun's service, I hope each and every one of you, as we talked about uplifting the voices of young women, that number 2, we leave this room and check in on one another. Number 1, check in on yourself, your health and wellness, because this work is hard and taxing. So check in with yourself, and then check in with another person and ask them on their mental wellness and the physical wellness as well. This is a community. We are together, and like a strong, tight-knit family, let's check in on one another as well too. So again, Don, our hearts and thoughts are with you as well. Getting it all? Next up. She is so well known that I don't even need to say anything. And there are already cheers in this room. We talked about legacy of service and the important shoes to fill, but also the legacy of service that I know continues in each and every one of us. The countless pieces of legislation, the type of countless lives that have been helped with this statesperson. That's none other than our very own Congresswoman Anna Eshoo. As a result of the distinguished nature, she has also demonstrated what is capable, what is possible when you embody the optimism that is so important, especially in a time of division. Congresswoman Eshoo, I hope you'll take a look at this room as we will all now take an opportunity and recognizing a very special, which I know that you have many, but But today is also Congresswoman Anna Eshoo Day in the state of California. And in consistent theme with making sure that we recognize the generations, the current generations, and our future generations, your legacy of service will continue no matter what. So would you all please stand and give a warm round of applause and recognition of our very special Silicon Valley's Congresswoman Anna Eshoo.